God, who created us, knows what we are, and that our happiness resides in him. However, we will not seek it in him. As long as he leaves us any other resource where it can plausibly be sought, as long as what we call our own life remains pleasant, we will not surrender it to him. What can God do in our interest but make our own life less pleasant for us and remove the plausible sources of false happiness? Excerpt from the book, The Problem of Pain. Today I want to talk about the problem is temporary. We all face difficulties that seem to never change. The more we pray, it seems like the situation worsens, with no signs of improvement. It's easy to get discouraged and accept that maybe it wasn't meant to be. However, Paul reminds us in 2 Corinthians that our present troubles are small and won't last very long. They will soon be over, but the joy that will come will be eternal. What you are facing now may seem permanent, as if it will take years to get better, get out of debt, or find the right person. Don't be fooled by appearances. God is saying that the problem is temporary and won't last long. Soon, all of this will be over. Soon you will see the victory. Your health will improve. You will meet the person of your dreams. Maybe you don't see how this can happen, and your reasoning says it's impossible. But we are dealing with a supernatural God who can do what we cannot. C.S. Lewis. Instead of thinking about all the reasons why it won't work or will take an eternity, try a different approach. Father, thank you that this difficulty will soon be over. Thank you that this illness, this depression, this family problem won't last long. If you feel it's been a long time, that means you are close to change. You are on the verge of a breakthrough, about to see freedom, promotion, problems resolved suddenly, and dreams come true unexpectedly. Not in the distant future, but soon things will change. Soon that child will get back on track. Soon a new door will open. Soon the right person will appear. Soon you will enter into abundance. C.S. Lewis. You need to agree with God and adopt a soon mentality. Thinking that things will take years prevents God from working in your life. When you have this soon mentality, you get up every morning with expectation, knowing that today might be the day God shows up. When will your health improve? I don't know, and maybe the medical report doesn't look promising. That's one report. I'm giving you another report. Soon things will change in your favor. When will you get out of debt? It may seem like it will take decades, but how about soon I will get out of debt? Soon I will lend, not borrow. How can this happen? God owns everything. One touch of his favor, and you will have more than enough. One good opportunity, one idea, one contract, and everything changes. When will you overcome that addiction? Soon. When will you meet the right person? Soon. When will that legal issue be resolved? Soon. When will you sell that property? Soon. When will you start your business? Soon. Your mind will try to convince you of all the reasons why it won't happen. The problem is too big. The people you are fighting against are too powerful. It has been like this for too long. Don't believe those lies. Receive this in your spirit. The problem will soon be over. The loneliness will soon be gone. The anxiety, the grief, the infertility, and the inability to have a child are coming to an end. These present problems won't last long. Job went through great difficulties. He was doing the right thing, honoring God, and everything fell apart. He lost his business, his children, and his health. He had sores all over his body. Just because we are people of faith doesn't mean we won't have difficulties. You may be doing the right thing and still face problems. The scriptures say that the rain falls on the just and the unjust. Excerpt from a sermon based on Job. When it rains on my house, everything gets wet, including my neighbor's house and everyone in the neighborhood. The rain doesn't discriminate. Don't be discouraged by difficulties. It's part of life. The promise we have is not that the problem won't come, but that the problem won't last. Soon, the problem will be over. When you are facing difficulties, things happen, like with Job, that you don't understand. He got sick. People at work turned against you. You had a business setback. It's easy to get worried, thinking it will never get better. But you need to remember that this is not permanent. It won't last long, and it will soon be resolved. Throughout the day, keep this in your heart. Father, thank you that this problem is just temporary, that it didn't come to stay, but it came to pass. Thank you that it will soon be over. When Job looked at his circumstances, everything that went wrong, everything he lost, he got depressed. He sat in ashes and wanted to die. One of the reasons he was so discouraged was that he saw the problem as permanent. He couldn't see a way out. As long as he kept that forever mindset, thinking his life would always be this way, he felt overwhelmed. Book of Job. When you face a setback, negative thoughts may say it's permanent. You will never get better. You will never be happy again. You will never find someone. If you believe those lies, you will get discouraged and lose your passion. But God doesn't allow you to enter a situation that he can't get you out of. If the problem was too big, the illness too severe, the opposition too strong, he wouldn't have allowed it. It's a test. What will you do? Get discouraged, give up on your dreams, live defeated, or believe that God is on the throne, that he is greater than what you are facing, that the problem is temporary and won't last long. What you believe in times of difficulty will determine whether you get out of it or stay stuck there. In a moment, Job changed his attitude. Instead of being defeated, he got up from the ashes, looked to the heavens and said, I know that my Redeemer lives. He was affirming, I know God is still on the throne. I know this difficulty can't stop my destiny. What he has purposed for my life will happen. He shifted to an attitude of faith. God let us see both sides of Job, him discouraged and down, and then him shifting to faith, to show us that it's okay to feel things. It's okay to have moments when you feel down, not seeing how it can work out. It's normal to start that way, but don't stay there. Don't stay in the ashes. Don't stay defeated. At some point, you need to do as Job did and declare, I know that my Redeemer lives. I know God didn't bring me this far to abandon me. I know this problem is not permanent. Lord, thank you that it will soon be over. Do you know what this does to the enemy? When he hits you with his best shot and you don't complain, don't stay in the ashes, but start declaring that soon everything will change. Soon I will get better. Soon I will meet someone new. Soon my business will take off. Soon I will laugh again, love again, lead again, run again. C.S. Lewis. When you live with this soon mentality, all the forces of darkness cannot keep you down. Job's situation seemed permanent. It seemed like he had seen his best days. But God not only turned the situation around, Job came out with twice as much as he had before. The scriptures say he had twice the cattle, twice the sheep. He got his business back. God never restores you the same way. He makes the enemy pay for bringing the problem. We hear a lot about Job's suffering and everything he went through. It seems like that was his whole life. The entire book of Job is about his struggle. You would think this lasted for 40 years. Problems, heartbreak, pain. But some commentators believe that the entire struggle lasted only 9 months. Or the illness, or the problem didn't last years. It was months. What do you think will take years? What seems like it will take a long time to resolve, as with Job, may happen sooner than you think. That problem seems permanent, but God is saying it won't last long. You are about to see his hand bringing healing, restoration, divine connections and promotion, not by your mind nor by your power, but by the Spirit of the living God. The battle is happening in our thoughts. Don't accept the lies that it is permanent or that it will take a long time. You need to stand up and say, Father, thank you that this will be resolved sooner than it seems. What seemed like it would take years to happen, happened in a few months for Job. God is telling you that what you are facing will be resolved much sooner than it seems. That problem won't last long. That addiction won't hold you back your whole life. The illness, the depression, the anxiety won't stop your destiny. It will soon be over. Not years, but months. Why don't you agree with God? Maybe you don't see how. The giant seems too big, the illness too severe, the opposition too strong, but you are not alone in this. The Most High God is fighting for you. He knows how to move people out of the way. He can do what medicine cannot. He can restore what was stolen. Soon you will see the hand of God doing things you couldn't do, opening doors that no one can shut, turning situations that seemed impossible. It's easy to live with a forever mentality, thinking it will never work out, or that maybe years in the future you will have a good opportunity. Switch to a soon mentality. Although some things really take time, God promises us, soon the problem will be over. He is about to do something out of the normal time, something unusual, sooner than you think. C.S. Lewis. God promises us, soon the problem will be over. He is about to do something extraordinary, out of the common time, sooner than you imagine. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen, since what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. 2 Corinthians 4:17-18. The book of Job contains 42 chapters detailing his struggles and difficulties. Sometimes it seems like his whole life was marked by suffering. However, the last 2 verses of the book of Job are incredibly significant. After describing all the problems, suffering, and losses Job faced, the last thing written is that, after this, Job lived another 140 years and saw his children and grandchildren for 4 generations. He died old and full of days, having lived a long and fulfilling life. As Romans 8:18 says, I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us. Weeping may stay for the night, but rejoicing comes in the morning. Psalms 35. Job's struggle lasted approximately 9 months, but after that, he lived 140 years of happiness, health, and well-being. These were years in which he enjoyed his children, years of great joy and laughter in his home. God was showing us that the problem is temporary. The problem will not last forever. You may be in a tough moment now, but that's not how your story ends. That loss won't define you. That illness won't ruin the rest of your life. That person who left, the bad luck, the unjust situation won't stop your purpose. God has an after this prepared for you. After the problem, there will be great joy in your life. After the loss, after the illness, after the legal battle, you will see new friendships, new opportunities, new growth. Don't get discouraged by the problem. It's not stopping anything that God has for you. God is reserving all the joy, all the good opportunities, the favor, and the resources that were delayed because of this temporary problem. You are not losing anything. What belongs to you is still coming your way. Your future days will be better than your past days. Your story doesn't end in defeat, failure, injustice, or sadness. These are temporary phases. Your story ends in victory. God has already prepared an after this for you. He said that what was meant to harm you, He is turning it for your good. Even now, God is turning some things around. He is resolving the problem, healing the illness, changing the attitude of people who are against you. You are about to step into an advantage, into the favor that God has already prepared for you. No one can stand against our God. No bad luck, no illness, no problem. God controls the universe. He said that weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. You may be in a night now. Can I encourage you? It's temporary. Joy is on the way. God is going to turn your mourning into dancing, your sorrow into joy. What's holding you down won't last much longer. It will soon be over. We receive good opportunities, but then we encounter turbulence, an unexpected challenge, an illness, a layoff, or the betrayal of a friend. You didn't see it coming. It's easy to panic and question, God, what's going on? Can I encourage you? This is just a part of your 10 minutes of turbulence. It won't last. It may be chaotic and stressful, but it will calm down. There will be an after this for you. After the turbulence, you will come out well. I found that we will all face about 10 minutes of turbulence in life. Not all at once, but a minute here, a minute there. Our mind may tell us it's permanent. We think, I'll never get over this difficulty. It's more turbulent than ever. But God is still in control. He is not only piloting your plane, but also controls the weather. He speaks to the storms, and they calm. C.S. Lewis. A friend of mine recently lost his job. He had been with the company for many years, and the layoff wasn't because of his performance, but simply due to lack of funds. He was tempted to panic and get upset. I told him what I'm telling you. This is not the end of your story. The problem will pass, and the rest of your path will be smooth. God has everything already planned. There is another position already aligned, with your name on it. If you stay in faith and keep doing your best, you will step into your after this. You will say, after the layoff, I got a better position. After that person left, I met someone better. After the illness, I came out stronger. You are anxious, sleepless, trying to solve everything on your own. Return to a state of peace. This situation is not permanent. Things will work out. God will guide you to your destiny. You may not understand how, but God is in control of everything. That cancer is not greater than God. That breakup didn't disrupt your purpose. Work problems are temporary. God is working behind the scenes in your life. Your moment is coming. It will happen sooner than you imagine. In the book of Genesis, God warned Noah about a great flood that was coming and instructed him to build an ark, a huge boat, and take 2 of every kind of animal. During the construction, people probably mocked him, thinking, "What is this crazy man doing? There is no water around here." At that time it had never rained. Dew rose from the ground and watered the earth. You can imagine how strange this seemed, but the scriptures say that Noah did exactly what God asked him. He was obedient. The rain fell for 40 days, and the entire earth was flooded. Noah and his family were in the ark, waiting. Months passed, and they didn't know if that would be their new reality forever. Noah sent a bird to see if the waters were receding, but the bird returned with no place to land. This happened several times. giving the impression that the situation was permanent. However, in Genesis chapter 8, we read that God remembered Noah. He sent a wind that blew over the waters, and the floods began to recede. God remembers your faithfulness. He remembers your obedience, just like Noah. You have been doing the right thing even when it's hard. You kept giving, serving, and being good to people without seeing any change. Nothing seemed to improve, but don't worry. Your time is coming. God sent a wind, and the waters began to disappear. A year later, Noah and his family were able to leave the ark. I believe that just like with him, God is about to blow over your life, and problems that seemed permanent are about to disappear. That illness you've been dealing with, the worry about your child, the work problem that is hindering you. By faith, I can see the wind of the Spirit of God making it disappear. Addictions disappearing, depression disappearing, scarcity, lack of resources disappearing. This is a new day. God is blowing His favor, His blessing, His healing over your life now. The next verse says that the underground water sources ceased their gushes. The torrential rain stopped falling. There are things you can't see that are hidden, so to speak, but they are about to cease in your life. God is going to cut off the source of what is limiting you, the source of what is holding you back. The illness is about to cease. The addiction is about to cease. The problem is about to cease. When those waters ceased, it still took a few months before Noah and his family could leave the ark. You may not see anything happening yet, but that doesn't mean things haven't changed. It's just a matter of time before you see what God was doing. Now, keep the right perspective. The problem is temporary. It won't last as long as it seems. Live with a soon mentality. It's not something distant in the future. Soon things will change in your favor. If you do this, I believe and declare that healing is on the way. Freedom is on the way. Breakthroughs are on the way. Soon you will get better. Soon you will meet the right person. Soon that problem will be resolved. Soon you will see God's favor in new ways. In Jesus' name, if you receive this, can you say amen today?